Hey everybody, I'm Sam Haymartin. You're watching Growing Older Gay. This is Kitchen Table for Friday, April 18th, 2025. This is our weekly check-in where we talk about the things going on at my kitchen table as well as the kitchen table around the LGBTQ plus fishbowl. And a lot of things have been happening this week, not only in my own personal life, but out there in the world. And so we're going to start off today with a bit of serious news and something for us all to be considering and keeping our mind on. And that is Shit Show 2025. It continues. You can watch it on the big news networks. You can get all your news about it you want, but there's a couple of things I want to make sure that the LGBTQ plus community is aware of, because it's getting missed a little bit out there in the media. And of course, we all know about all of the detainees down in El Salvador that were taken and disappeared off of our streets and sent down to a gulag in a foreign country with no due process. Kilmar Albrego Garcia has been getting all of the headlines because the government admitted that they sent him down there mistakenly. But the person who hasn't been getting the headlines as nearly as much, and I think deserves just as much of the headlines, is José Hernández Romero. And he is a young gay makeup artist that is clearly not a gang member. And his family has told the government, and they were putting evidence forth, that he's in danger. That's the reason why he's here. He was seeking asylum. In fact, the day that he was disappeared, he had a court appearance scheduled for his asylum. And this is a person that is just swept up into this big thing. Now, granted, yes, there are probably quite a few people that maybe deserve to be deported. Whether they deserve to be deported to a foreign gulag without process is a whole nother story. But when you do things like this without due process, without notification, without an opportunity for that person to prove their innocence, this is what you get. You get people swept up into these broad brush actions, and there are innocents that are harmed and hurt. And this is not the country that I grew up in, that even conservatives that I grew up around talked about having. This is not conservatism as I understood it growing up. This has become something else entirely. But the point is Jose, someone that really ought to be in all of our prayers, and they are advocating for him. He does have attorneys, and like everybody else that was hauled off on a plane, he ought to be brought back and given that day in court before ultimately being deported, if that's what has to happen. Next on the docket is the Supreme Court, which is hearing Kennedy versus Braidwood Management Incorporated, which is the case that is pushing back against the ACA, which covers a lot of things, preventative care, and all of the stuff that goes with it, your doctor's visits, the tests, and all of those things for cancer screenings, among other things. But relative to our community, HIV testing, PrEP, things like that. And a lot of us that are using PrEP have the opportunity to go to our doctor and get all of that covered, not only by our insurance, but there's a lot of programs out there that cover these things with no out-of-pocket cost, because it's cheaper in the long run for these insurance companies to pay for PrEP, to pay for the testing, to pay for the doctor visits, and not charge us a copay than it is to put somebody on HIV medication for the rest of their life. They've recognized that. But there are companies out there that want to get out of having to do that as well. And so that's what this case really goes to the Supreme Court for. They're arguing to be able to get out of having to pay for these preventative things. They just want out of it. The way the Supreme Court is currently made up right now, it's likely that it's not going to go the way it should. But we won't have a decision on Monday, but we will. Usually, just by the questions that the justices are asking and the tone of the hearing, you tend to get an idea of which direction they may go. So that's something that's coming up Monday. There's nothing we can do about it. If you are using PrEP, if you are on any kind of preventative regime right now that is covered by your insurance company, that if this decision goes the wrong way for us, those things could get more expensive. At the very least, you'll be paying co-pays when you go to the doctor and for your testing and for your medication. At the worst, you'll be paying for all of that out of pocket. So just put that on your radar. Be aware that probably come this summer, we'll have a decision on that case and things will be changing for us, or they won't. Probably going to be changing. A little bit more fun. I always like to talk about an event coming up, Disney Pride Night, which is their After Dark series of events that they do a couple of times a year, is coming up in June 16th, June 18th at Disneyland down in Southern California. Tickets are on sale right now. They're kind of pricey, but you know, what do we pay for a Kylie Minogue concert, right? $169 is the base package cost, and that will get you in. Now, the Pride Night itself goes from 9 to 1 a.m., but you can get in as early as 6 p.m. with this pass. So 6 p.m. till 1 a.m. is what you're paying $169 for, but it's a special Pride Night. So it's a fun night to go out and essentially have a gay pride get together at Disneyland, which sounds like a lot of fun to me. And they really decorate the place up and they roll into it pretty thick with all of the special side pieces and everything that goes with it. And I don't know that I'll get to go this year, but this really looks like a lot of fun. It's on my gay travel bucket list. And I think we're going to do a video on that here pretty soon, a gay travel bucket list and amended for this year that are safe for us to go to. Yeah. Not El Salvador, probably. And the last thing I want to talk about today is something that's actually just more on a personal note. Yesterday, April 17th, I celebrated a milestone, 8 years sober. And I am a person who is, well, I can't drink alcohol and I can't use drugs like a normal person. And by that, I mean, when I do those things, I have no control over how much I use, when I'm going to do it next, and what I'm going to do when I'm doing it. And a lot of difficulty in my life, a lot of going down the rabbit hole, and a lot of difficulty brought me to a point 8 years ago that I made the decision to cut the cord on drinking at all and using illicit drugs. And that has enabled me to be present. It has enabled me to sort of bring back control and bring back some direction in my life, which is completely absent when I'm drinking and using drugs. And that's just for me. There's people out there, and I recognize there's a lot of people out there that can drink, they can use drugs without any consequences. I'm not that person. And I have a lot of them when I do. Not only in the way I behave, but the way I manage my life and my just general health. And the bottom line for me is I was really putting my life in danger, not only health-wise, but all of the things that I would go out and do. I don't look out for my own safety, nor the safety of other people around me. So not only was I endangering myself, but a lot of other people. And I believe that 8 years later, looking at this time that I've spent in my life, not only have I become a healthier person, mentally, physically, and spiritually, but I get to be alive, and I get to have the energy and the bandwidth in my life to do things that I might not have otherwise have done. So I'm not judging anybody out there who uses drugs or who drinks. I'm just telling you my story, and it's been a good thing for me. Yeah. So I really love all you folks out there very much. I love my community. And one of the reasons I do this channel and will be doing more is because there's a lot of areas where we're not being served. And especially going forward in this time, there's a lot of areas where we're going to start seeing holes and gaps in the things that we used to take for granted, and we shouldn't. And so, yeah, there you go. That's it for today. Pretty short episode. You can see our latest video right there. A lot of little things coming up. And please subscribe to our channel right there. We are working on a number of big projects that involve some other guest speakers, and that'll be on there for our subscribers.